Who is it? Vinny!
Hey, dude, are you there?
Hey, what's up,
I'm
my
here,
brother?
man.
How are you,
Dude,
man?
I don't have a scary story, man.
Hey, what's up,
I'm
my
here,
brother?
I was like, I'm gonna have pretty much a heart attack. I'm like having a heart attack, but I can't scream or anything. Basically, laying on the floor, panicking.
Oh!
No, you weren't.
Oh!
You built the place. I haven't seen the Hopi in thousands of years. Don't make fun of my people. Period.
Sorry,
I'll
Brandon.
pull out your ass and cut you up in little bitty bits.
Facebook page down because people said Richie from Boston's gay. He's gay. I'm gay. I'm a gay man.
And I mean, yeah, I mean, you can prosecute me for that if you like.
No, it's not why I'm doing that. I'm just saying there's a lot
But
of...
that is what you did. Bigelow started buying websites, including one in British Columbia, Canada. So all of a sudden, this kind of triggered Brian Vike.
Welcome back to Third Phase of Moon. Blake Cousins here. We've got a special report for you. We've got a few UFO videos that we want to share with you.
Welcome back, everybody. Blake Cousins, along with Orlando Smith and Brent Cousins, we're going to be going over incredible imagery.
Third phase of moon. Third phase of moon.
10, 9, ignition sequence start. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. All engine running. Liftoff.
You were either in or you were either out, brother.
But the cream will rise to the top for you.
All right. Welcome to Goof On, everybody. I'm your host, Rich Giordano. It is Thursday, September 23rd, 2021. Weird. You know, you can't write the stuff that happens in your life, in your private life. I tell you, until I get more information, I'd love to tell you, but this is just too weird, so I'm going to find out more. But I think another neighbor passed away. We'll find out more. It's really weird. All around me, across the street to the right, gone. Next door, gone. Up the street, a little bit. I can see the house, gone. This is what happened when I lived at the other place. People were dying all around me. You know, maybe it's me. I probably change into something when the moon is full or new. I'm telling you, I sometimes pass out, wake up naked in a cage. Hey, this is the life I live. It's crazy. Somebody just knocked on my door 10 minutes before the show. The first words were, I really need your help. It was a woman. I helped. Oh, boy. So I made the video earlier today. Not to get off topic already within the first 5 minutes, but that is common here. So Michael Horn didn't show up yesterday. We all know. We knew once he found out that CalCorp was coming on the show, the excuses started happening. Gonna have to make rules and regulations. I'm not gonna come on there if anybody's mean to me. Oh, It's okay for him to be mean and all that stuff, right? Yeah, but that's not on a live show. Yeah, it was during a live show. You yuts. Calling everybody dummies and being condescending, and he's Mr. Know-It-All. Actually, he's Mr. Know Nothing. Dr. Evil Know Nothing. It's really a strange world that guy must live. He's a weird one. Very odd. Very strange. So he messages me a half hour ago or so. Oh, you want to hear? Real quick? All right. Good. I'll read it to you. Hey. Oh, that's not it. Sorry, wrong one. Hey, Gort. Nope, that's not it either. Hey, beautiful. Yeah, that's him. He says, let's see. He says, if you believe in all the unsubstantiated slime you spread, you'll be there. Postpone debate on Billy Meier contact going live. I'm not giving the date. Michael Horn will present originally scheduled information that was supposed to be on my show that he just didn't want to show up because Cal Korff was there, would have fucking buried him. Plus, specific responses and rebuttals to the false claims made by the skeptics. No, not skeptics. Realists. People who live in a reality that's not a cult. That's not forced persuasion by false love. And I'm sure just my opinion, there's got to be some sort of abuse mentally that goes on in a cult. Because there got to be that fear. You got to put fear in the people, right? And usually it's the guy, the head guy. And he'll be like, yeah, no dick for you tonight. You got to take out the trash, take out the papers, take out the papers and the trash. Yakety yak. There's got to be something real nasty that's binding this Horn character to Billy Meier. Makes no sense unless they love each other. Oh, sure, we love each other, spiritually, but, physically, it's impossible. I'm all the way up. Oh, so you would. And I made a very good observation, and I'm sticking by it. This is my observation because I like to observe people. I've been doing it since the day I could walk. I stare at people, I watch people, I analyze people. That's my deal. That's where that's my set of skills. And when I look at Horn, I see a guy who puts on wig and a makeup. And a makeup, yeah. I'm telling you, I'm not just saying it to say it to be a jerk. But I really think the guy, and hey, do whatever you want. I don't care. I would just like more transparency. I want to know the personality of this guy. Why is he hiding under a wig and makeup? There's a reason he shaved all his hair off. Oh, because number one, you go bald, you might as well cut it all off. But two, wigs really stick on good. When you got to put the skin cap on, then you got to put the wig on, and you got to have these things underneath it to make it sticky and tacky. Yeah, he's got that look. Not only is he a Dr. Evil, he's Mrs. Evil. He's Mrs. Dr. Evil. I'm serious. That's not a dig on the guy. That's not a mean thing to say. I don't care what anybody does. I'm just saying, I observe people and I see that. And that's okay. I'm just saying, I said it yesterday and I wanted to expound on it. Is it expound? Is that the word we use? I'm trying using words I don't normally use to. It is? That's the right word? All right. But he didn't show. And Cal and Robert Rivas just made it obvious that he's a hoax. Not Michael Horn, Billy Meier. It is so obvious that it's a hoax. It's one of the reasons why I never even cared to research or look into it more than what was out there in the public eye. You know, I didn't bother clicking on any hot links or anything to read extra. I saw everything I needed in the pictures. I seen everything I needed in the mannerisms and facial expressions of everybody involved. But I did not expect Horn to start out as a nice guy. He's been on the show now, what, 2-3 times? He was nice every time until the last time. It's just odd. Just odd behavior from somebody who, let me tell you something. Have you ever been accused of lying, been accused of something and you didn't do it and you act a certain way, right? You don't run from, if somebody accused me of hoaxing any of my sightings, this is me, this is what I say and have said. I said, can you show me how I did it? Because I didn't, but I would love to know. But nobody does that. You know who did that? Cal Korff. I don't think Meier understands. Oh, he does? He does, yeah. That's why he didn't show up. Cal Korff actually continued the research where others stopped. Went the extra mile. Infiltrated. Oscar Mayer Wiener? Are you kidding me? They don't have Oscar Mayer Wiener in Switzerland. They have Schwitzenagels. Hot dogs. They don't have Oscar. That's why it's easy to do that. Hey, Ricky Aldridge with a what? With the $5 super chat. You need to add Horn as a 13th disciple. Oh yeah. Oh, we got Lou. I don't know who the woman is. I think that woman right there is Alex Dietrich, the pilot. But then if it was, where is the other pilot? You'd think the other pilot would be there, the main guy. Ricky Aldridge, thank you very much. That is definitely deserving of one of these. Mucho gusto generoso from Ricky Aldridge, a supporter of GoofOn now. Congratulations. By the way, you can support GoofOn a number of ways. This show survives. I do it live every night, 6-7 nights a week, third phase of Moon. I put up episodes on third phase UFO report. More episodes and short clips are going on in the morning, early afternoon. Here on GoofOn, there's a lot of stuff going on. On top of that, research, planning ahead, planning the future. Things are always happening, all hours of the day and night, because it's a worldwide thing, ufology. Never ends. I don't know. I'm trying to figure out what I'm doing wrong here. Here we go. All right. So that's we're going to talk about this WikiLeaks. Did you see this thing? This I don't know if it's a rumor, but apparently it's real. They're about to reveal a United States UFO war around Antarctica. I don't know, man. I am very disappointed, more than I ever been, with ufology right now. I feel like one of my kids, oh damn it, the battery died on the phone. I forgot to plug it in. I can't bring up. If you want to support the show, you can use PayPal, excuse me, Cash App, become a patron, and that's at GoofOn, Patreon. I think it's GoofOn or GoofOn Radio. I don't know. and super chat, super stickers. That's how we survive every day, by doing this. And that's what I was getting to. But I have so many things to talk about. And before the show, like I said, I had a knock on the door at 1/4 to the top of the hour. But before that, I was listening to Truth Seeker, Stephen Cambion, and his impressive bombardment on Wilcock. Wow. I mean, he was playing some clips from stuff like, oh my God, I forgot all about that. That's right. Oh, what a dick. Oh, Wilcock sucks. Where they had that fake doctor and they had the GoFundMe and they raised $60,000 to save his home. Pete, Dr. Pete, save his home. And the house was already foreclosed on. And they raised 60 grand on falsehoods, lies. Yeah, I was bringing up the phone so I can do 1.5 minutes of roll call, but we're just going to wing it. Al Julian, welcome to the show. Barry McKeon, welcome to the show. The beautiful Felicia Flores, welcome to the show. Mikey Gematria, welcome to the show. Adam Bonafate. Bonafate, welcome to the show. Derek Atkins, welcome to the show. Alcy Tiger, third phaser, rock fam. Say that fast 3 times. Alcy Tiger, third phaser, rock fam. Alcy Tiger, third phaser, rock fam. Alcy Tiger, third phaser, rock fam. Welcome to the show. It's not that hard. Scotty Eisner, welcome to the show. I backed up the clock. Don't worry. Mikey, oh, I already said that. Coral Ann, welcome to the show. Section 8, welcome to the show. Good to see you back. Paul Galvin, you too. Welcome to the show. Space Trooper. Welcome to the show. Lauren Pritchard, Space Mama. Damn, that's a great name. Welcome to the show. Mark Van Alstein, or Alstein, welcome to the show. Randall Hill, welcome to the show. Exofa, welcome to the show. FGraph72, welcome to the show. We're almost out of time. Carl Ann, I already said it. Gigi Abby Lynn, welcome to the show. And Marvin Dale Likens Jr., welcome to the show. All right. Polar Burr, welcome to the show. George Washington, welcome to the show. How's your wooden tooth? Game Vet 02. Goof on, why does Third Phase have a Wilcock commercial where he is asking for donations? Say, what? Huh? Get me that link. I just want to see what it is. Maybe I can explain it. It could be real old, man. They used to help each other out. Everybody had Wilcock on their shows back in the day, but things have gotten a little tighter. Shadi, Piernorin, welcome to the show. Renee Cruzan, welcome to the show. Drain Glow, welcome to the show. Ricardo Jimenez, welcome to the show. Benny, Grave Rabba, welcome to the show. Earthly Awakenings, 82, welcome to the show. Sky Allen, welcome to the show. I didn't want to leave you guys out. DKG Custom, what's up, man? Welcome to the show. Ian Burwell, welcome to the show. D Tubman, welcome to the show. Von Brent, welcome to the show. Stan's Cave, what's up, man? Welcome to the show. Scotty Brown's here. What's up, SB? Good to see you. Welcome to the show. The Gorilla Gamma's here. Welcome to the show. Tacey Hale, welcome to the show. All right, now we're done. Tim Frick. All right, I didn't want to forget. Welcome to the show. And Brenda Akins. Welcome to the show. Marco, I saw you earlier. Don't want to forget. Welcome to the show. Lil Will, welcome to the show. Boy, where's everybody coming from, by the way? I don't understand this. I don't understand this night right now. Why is everybody here? What is happening? Am I going to die? That's what I said would be the ultimate show. What's up, Troy? Living in the Twilight Zone as you jump from goof on and 40,000 stuff. 5, what a mind job. Huh? Too hard, too fast. What a mind job. Thumbs up, subscription, and if set up and can hang out and super chat too. Do? And okay, do. Got it. I see there's something on my nose, there's something white right there, and I can't, it's like a flick of skin, can't get it off. All right, let's get the show going. I want to wet your palate. I haven't been able to wet pallets. I've been doing interviews lately. Hey, look, we did 2 out of the 3 days this week. We've done interviews. Told you, we're just going to switch it up a little bit, and it has been switched. Thanks, Paul. Welcome you to the show. Yeah, I love that. Patrick Sheehan. Rich 1. Horny Meier 0. What's up? Welcome to the show, Patrick. And Bee's Nest, welcome. Ghost 8, welcome to the show. So I'm going to play a video of it's really silly. I kind of don't even want to play it, but I think I need to just because it's stupid. It's pranks. Yeah, I'm not sure I want to play it. It goes against everything I believe in. So let me show you what everything I don't believe in yeah, fuck it. I'm not playing it. Not wetting your palate with that. What just happened before the show threw me off. My mind was in a good place. And something really odd just happened today. All right, I'm going to play this. Don't give a shit if you like it or hate it. It's slapped ham. I don't even know. What am I doing? Why is something's going on? This is weird. That is weird. I've never seen that before on StreamYard.
Many believe that the arrival of extraterrestrial beings is only a matter of time. With this thought comes the fear of what might happen when aliens and humans first meet. Will it be a cinematic-style showdown, or is our own propensity for violence clouding the likely reality? Could aliens actually become a powerful ally of the human race? The question remains a topic of hot debate. However, YouTuber UFO Mania, The Truth Is Out There, recently shared a video that could potentially bring us one step closer to knowing the answer. Take a look. In the video, captured at a gas station in San Bernardino, California, we see what the uploader describes as a mothership surrounded by a fleet of smaller craft.
Up. The mothership has arrived. Yeah, it's a mothership of 30 drones. Congratulations. I don't know if they're drones. Let's see what else happens.
What the hell is that?
As the clip continues, the lights start to spread out.
Is this for real?
Then the brightness of several of the smaller shapes begins to intensify as they appear to move in a downward direction just before the clip ends.
Oh, you know what this is?
Hey, what's going on?
Oh, yeah, I did show this. These are skydivers. They were all connected together. They were all holding hands. It's a big skydive at night. Watch, you'll see. Yeah. I did play this. I forgot. Yeah, you can see their little fishtails now. And they're going to start going back and forth. Yeah,
numerous viewers of the video were positive that the mysterious objects were...
I'm not even going to watch it anymore. It's a waste of time. Let me give you something that might be decent.
He claimed to have captured poltergeist activity on camera before. However, due to its very nature...
Come on, Slapped Ham, show me something worthy.
This video, uploaded to YouTube by Grasshopper222, shows a number of eerie activities taking place within his home, as he and his family were supposedly away on vacation. The video includes several clips taken from security cameras placed throughout the YouTuber's home.
That's how they leave their house?
In the first clip, we see a view of the living room, where a toy suddenly begins to move all on its own.
Oh, wait, we already did this shit. Yeah, this is all fake. I figured this one out. All right. I thought I didn't. Sorry. And we did this one too. I guess I never got rid of them. Well, that sucked. I wetted a palette with false hopes. That's really stupid. You know, we're just going to get into it again. Yeah, we're starting over again. Let's go. It's So let's just get to work. I give up. You guys shouldn't even be here. Everybody should go. Just get out. Leave. You don't want to be here. Promise you. You don't want to be here right now. Oh, Jim Goodall. Let's talk about it. All right. He got these. Did I already talk about this too? I thought I forgot to talk about it. That's right. I never got to talk about it. I know I didn't. There's no way I talked about B. Baker, did I talk about this already? I swear to God, if I talked about this, we're just gonna go right to Wilcock because I know that's the only thing that's gonna work. I know that's the only thing I haven't talked about here. I'm losing my mind. I could have sworn I had talked about this too. Ma! Make those goddamn meatballs! Meatballs!
To visit again too.
Absolutely.
When I saw these, the images, the originals are Polaroids, and the important thing about a Polaroid picture is the only photograph that you can say with 100% certainty it's not fake, because there's no
right. Okay, I didn't talk about it here. I made a video. Right. Okay.
Internegative. There's no everything is.
No, I made a video for Goof On and never talked about it on Tuesday. That's what happened.
Processed on the film itself. So if whatever the camera sees is going to be on the film. So there's no way to fake it unless you're going to fly something or do something, and fake that part in real life and then shoot it as it goes. But these Polaroids were taken in 1960, 61, 62 time frame. There was no such thing as Photoshop. There weren't even computers, and there was no such thing as digital cameras. Now this was either Polaroid film or it was print film or slide.
No, or somebody threw stuff up in the air. I don't know why he forgot to mention that, one of the most important things.
Photochrome, extrachrome, verichrome, and whatever. But I saw these, and they were in pretty sad shape. They were black and white to start with, but they had been in a desk for 50 years.
I don't know why, but this one to me looks a little sketch. But on the flip side of that, I actually recorded something that looks almost identical to this. As a matter of fact, I would have to say I recorded the same exact thing. The video's somewhere, and I have the video here, of course, but I have to load it up. And yeah, it was amazing. In between two buildings, downtown, not in between, but downtown Phoenix, man. It's a hotbed.
They had fingerprints on them. They had marks on them, and they were yellowing. So I went into Photoshop. I hit black and white, so that brings everything in black to white and grayscale in between. And then I started cleaning them up. And the one where the guy's pointing, that's the most significant one, because that shows the Bob Lazar sports model UFO. When you look at it, what Bob described.
First of all, Bob Lazar is a liar. Jim Goodall doesn't think so, though. I think Jim Goodall, but yeah, well, obviously. It's weird, man. Yeah, I could hear somebody talk about Bob Lazar from somebody who's rather intelligent, who sounds like they did a lot of research, and then they would say Bob Lazar never, ever worked at S4. Then I can hear somebody else just as smart and does just as much research and say the exact opposite. No, he definitely worked there. What that guy said isn't true because of da-ba-da-ba-da. But who do you believe? I tell you what, I believe that Bob Lazar did not work at S4. He looks like a liar. Bob Lazar does. He's got a lot of bad body language from those early interviews. He's gotten good at telling that story because he's told it so many times over the last 35 years. He's told that story so much, he could actually believe it at this point. Hey, I've talked about my dreams a dozen times, and at this point, in my mind, it's like it happened. So I understand when somebody turns from, oh man, that was a dream, and I just told somebody that story and they said, oh, sounds like it really happened to you. Bells go off. They're like, maybe it did really happen to me. Maybe it wasn't a dream. And that hoaxer mentality comes out and they're like, oh, I'm going to post my story to Facebook tomorrow, see what people think. No, better yet, Facebook and TikTok. And then they make a short video, test the waters, right? And what happens? They get attention and it feels good. For the first time in their life, they mean something to somebody, or so they feel or think. People are talking about me. They actually believe me, except for that guy. Goof on. Delete. Goodall is extremely smart, but he believes Bob Lazar. He believes he worked there.
That he worked on, that's what's in the air. And this was in New Mexico. So it's either Walker, which is Roswell, or it is Kirkland, which is Albuquerque. Then you also have Cannon, which is Clovis on the far eastern New Mexico. So those are the bases that the guy was at, one of those three. And there may have been something back in the 60s, I don't remember. But I started cleaning them up, and they were just too compelling not to share with you guys. I mean, you guys are the forefront of stuff that gets released and gets, that's when someone has a aha. A lot of times it comes directly from you guys. So I thought this was an aha moment, and I wanted to share it with you.
Well, absolutely, Jim. There's a lot of people out there that have evidence, and again, these have been sitting in. If what you're saying is that they're sitting in a drawer for over, 60 years approximately, maybe a little longer. So,
50.
Can we identify the person in the photograph who's pointing at the craft?
No, it's anonymous.
It's been asked. The person of the family that sent it off.
It's a yes or no question.
Investigator did so and wanted to be kept anonymous. So unless the person sees these, on the internet, through one of your podcasts or whatever, they're probably not going to know that anything has happened to them. So and maybe if they find out, or if they get wind of it, maybe they'll come forward. But it was someone's grandfather, and it was in his desk, and he had been dead for quite some time. And they were going to get rid of it. I guess they're going to get rid of the desk, or they're moving it or going through it, and they found these 5 photos, and they said they were.
So wait a minute now. Now let's put this into a deeper thought process. So these photos, which I guess apparently haven't seen the light of day in 50 years, right? Although they've been in a desk for 50 years, who knows how long they weren't in a desk before that? Maybe 10 years, I don't know. Since 60 to 70, 40, 50 years. So here, these photos get put out in public. But what if these photos are from a cache of photos just like these, and these were supposed to be in that pile, but somehow the person took them, stole them, maybe, I don't know, put them in his desk, wasn't really hiding them in a safety deposit box or a safe, mind you, in the wall behind a picture of cards, dogs playing cards. But my goodness, I would think that our government would not want these photos out in the public. But they're out. And Jim Goodall didn't have a problem. I think they were already out before that, but he cleaned them up. And I don't know, man. I don't know the whole story. Maybe he tells it. Let me see what else he says here.
You have examples of what it looked like before I started. So you can see they were pretty sad looking. And a lot of people are just looking, oh, those are all old Polaroids, and maybe just pitch them. But fortunately, person that found them, realized that there's a little bit of gold in those photos as far as proof. And because back in 1960 or 61, stuff like that wasn't, you're not going to fake something like that. You didn't have a UAV or a drone that you could dangle a flying saucer.
No, but if you got a pie plate or a hubcap or a Frisbee, you get the same effect. You get the same effect. I don't know why I stopped playing it.
From in the air, and take pictures. Oh, this is real. It appears to be the real thing, and there's various. I sent you four images, and there's 4 different views of the same craft, and the one. It shows the guy's head, but he's not pointing down just above the ridge line of the mountains. Appears to look like a second saucer.
Yeah, what's this over here? See this down here? Let me open that up. Right over here. There's something else, man. It looks like it's further away because it's smaller. So I don't think this is a 1/2 inch Billy Meier trash can lid being thrown about the area. This is really in the photograph. It's not fake. And by the way, these are Polaroids. And as Jim Goodall was saying, very hard to fake Polaroids. But I found out it's not that hard to fake shit with the Polaroid camera. You just have to know how to do it.
Yeah, I was going to say that. I was looking at the photos, and off in the distance,
there it is.
We see a second saucer off.
That's
just
the
over
sports
the mountain
model.
line.
Thanks, Bob.
So
wasn't I blew the image up as
holy shit! Somebody call Wilcock. That's a flying car. Ma! Wilcock. Yeah, that's a flying car. Got wheels here. No, it's a UFO. Okay.
Can without.
Sure looks like a car to me.
And it's not a flaw. It's not a scratch. It's not a dirt particle. That's on the image. It appears to be exactly on the image. So that could have been a second craft. And it's just things are coming to a head. I was watching Mars Attacks last night, and I have a feeling that's how it's going to happen.
Well, let's hope not. But let's get back to these photographs. Great movie, by the way.
I love it. I love Tim Burton.
Yeah, it was fantastic when it came out. It's still relevant today. But that could be the false alien attack if some people think that way. But these photographs, I know you've have the biggest collection of aerospace at one.
Wait a minute. That is really important. I want to know why Jim Goodall thinks that that's the way it's going to happen. We're going to have, look, if there's going to be disclosure, which I personally don't believe we'll ever have it, I got to change this background. It's killing me. I don't know. I'm done looking at it. That's important. It's important. Stupid. Why would Jim Goodall say that? Because he's done. He's tired of it. He's done. Isn't he? He's done. He's done with everything. ufology in general. Nothing is what it seems. The only way we're going to get any UFO footage, like real UFO footage, is from the past. There's a lot of stuff that Third Phase put up lately that I have to admit it's really good stuff, especially last night. But nonetheless, it seems like every time there's a legitimate UFO sighting, there's a lot of baggage that comes with it. And next thing you know, it isn't what we thought it was. It's something completely mundane, like an airplane, a balloon, etc., a drone, whatever. Just like those people, we started watching the video and they thought they were seeing these lights in the sky. You know, it was skydivers. That's why the lights on them were, you know, kind of doing this, because they're in the wind, you know, they're fighting the wind coming down. And then when they broke up and released from holding hands, some of them lit their boots up and boom, doing the serpentine. Nothing is going to happen. We haven't talked about disclosure for a while. There's a reason for it, because we had Anjali interrupt our flow with her false claims. And then we heard Lou Elizondo is going to pencil in a book. He has a book deal now, which we all knew was coming, just didn't know when. Never seen a guy smile until the day he knew he was going to make money. I tell you, money does that to me too. It does. It does it to you. It does it to us all. Makes life easier. The thing is, ufology's got a major, major, major problem right now. And that problem is Horn. He's making it easy. But photos like the ones that Jim Goodall brought to light, which really, if these are real UFOs, I would be shocked myself. Even though I've recorded my own, there's something just, you know, to me, it just looks like plates, you know, it doesn't look like COVID. It doesn't look like a UFO that I think I should see. But what do I know? This one here. I'm going to find my video. I know where it is. I have everything labeled. I'm going to start loading up videos. It's time. I'm going to start loading up my own shit, so you guys can see what real UFOs look like. I'm done. I'm done with everybody else's shit. It's time to bring out the goods. Hey, I don't have a lot of stuff, but the stuff I have, you've seen a few of them. I know the humanoid, probably balloons, but I know what I saw through the binoculars. And what I saw through the binoculars, damn it, wasn't balloons. It just wasn't. I tell you it wasn't. I swear to God in my life. But anyway, that's not what I'm going to show you. You're going to see the fleet video I've been bragging about. You're going to see the 5 triangles I've been talking about, 3 points of light. You're going to see some cool stuff. The city in the sky enhanced. That thing is bizarre. Don't have any idea what that is, but it looks like a city in the sky. Promise you that. And then you get stuff like what you get with Billy Meier. Why this guy is, we all know how we got sucked into it, or I got. I don't know. All of a sudden, now I'm having All right. And then we've got Anjali with her bullshit cave aliens. And then we got, and this is the stuff that's really watering down ufology in a bad way. Let Elizondo write a book. My thing is, the guy talks every day on a different podcast. And you mean to tell me Lou is holding back stuff for the book? You're going to find out some things that was never talked about that is going to change humanity forever. Shut the front door. Dude, I kind of just wish he would go away. I like Corbell better than I like Elizondo. Because I like crazy. I like crazy. I do. I like crazy. Crazy's fun. Crazy Eyes Corbell. And we got, by the way, Corbell was saying May 4th, May 3rd, around that time, he was saying how, in a tweet, this is just the tip of the iceberg. That's what this is. I've got so much, yet we haven't seen anything since May 14th or 4th or around there. June, July, August, September. 4 months have gone by, 120 days, 130, 129 if you want to be exact. And he hasn't done anything. You know why, right? Because he's waiting to be told what to do, when to do it. And I said earlier, not on this show, but earlier, a couple of days ago, that I think Corbell is putting his life on the line. I really do. I think that he shouldn't have done this. Isn't he a family man? Isn't he? Doesn't he have kids or something like that? My God. Can you imagine going to school with the Corbells? Bunch of little brats. My dad, UFO guy. Your dad's weird. He shows his feet for 20 minutes in a documentary. No, he doesn't. Yes, he does. And your dad supports hoaxers, too. Shut up. And you know Corbell's going to teach his kids karate. Sorry. What does he do? What does he take? Who gives a shit? Yeah, who gives a shitski? Doesn't matter. That shit doesn't help in a real fight. Trust me. Unless it's a... What the fuck? Forget about it. All right. I'm telling you. This is such a weird day. This has been a really good day. Horn ran away with his tail between his legs. I can't believe he chickened out. What a douche. You know what I mean? So douchey. All right. I'm not going to play me. I'm going to play Cal Korff. This is a couple of minutes long. This is from what I did earlier today. Just in case you haven't watched it, because I need content for the show. I need to go cough my brains out in 3, 2, and gush.
So basically, there's a new series I have called Ufology, and it is not a prank. It's very serious, and I'm not the only one who's working on it. This is one of the titles that are part of that series. And it's in honor of two things. One is Stanton Friedman had told me the difference between ufology versus ufology, because I met him in May of 1975 when I was a young boy. And I came up to him and I asked him what he thought of UFOlogy. And he laughed and he said, it's ufology. And he explained what it was. Ufology is simply the scientific study of UFO data, period. That's it. Ufology, it's a real term, is when people make statements or conclusions about UFOs, which are not derivable from credible data. And unfortunately, most of ufology is ufology. Mikey Horn is a ufologist. Not only is he a fraud, but he says stuff all the time that is not credible. So I begin the new series with this reminder from Abraham Lincoln that we have to be careful about quotes on the internet because, of course, Abraham Lincoln didn't exist back then. And it's a reminder that we have to trust but verify in today's online world, especially.
Let's pick it up at 17.
Base. How low can you go? 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 How low can you go? Base. 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 How low can you go? Death row? What a brother, no. Once again, back is the incredible rhyme animal, the uncannibal.
This is important. Go ahead and freeze that. Because when I went to Switzerland undercover for Fox TV, World's Greatest Hoaxes, Secrets Finally Revealed, anybody can get that video. I went and got the photograph that you see here, brought it back personally to Bob Kiviat and gave it to him. I was sent to do two things. One is he had hired a crew, which you saw the image from in the book. They're walking, escorting us, to document what I had done. And I was going to go in the cold a second time, try to meet with Calliope, get her on camera. I had my own footage as well, and then get the color slide of this that had been taken. So not trusting FedEx and didn't want to take a chance for Murphy because Murphy never takes a holiday. That's been my experience in 27 countries around the world and 4 continents over the years. I brought all this stuff back personally, handed it to Bob, and that is the exact image there. And those trash can lids are standard in Switzerland. You see them everywhere in India. They're basically standard where the British Empire has been a lot, and it's a common thing in Europe.
Yeah,
and it was Meier's wife who recognized those because her job was to take out the trash, right? She's the woman. That's how they viewed her, of course, which was abusive.
Terrified of dear Uncle Gustav. Yes, I am. Well, I'm not. I don't care if he does find me gone. The cow.
Show's not over. We're still going. Yeah, that's the outro song for probably one of the last nights. But yeah, obviously, I didn't play that last night, so I wanted to show that to you today and on the show. And it is so obvious to me. And that's just one of many things that was proving Billy Meier as a hoax. If you can reproduce it and make it look exactly like he did, well, that's all. That's all you need to know. Right? It is what it is, guys. All right, let's talk about we talked about the photos. We talked about catching up on what happened with Meier. And now he's not Meier, Horn. I always do. I think everybody does that. So Michael Horn is having his own debate by himself. He's going to debate himself. And this way he can win, right? So this way he can win. Hold on a second. What? Oh, there's a message for me? I don't have any messages. My phone is out of commission right now. But I want to talk about Wilcock now because Stephen Cambion did a show yesterday from Truth Seekers that went over all of the scams that Wilcock was involved in. And this new one is involved with the same people that help support a fake. Well, I should just play a piece of it. GoFundMe to save the house of Dr. Pete. I forget his last name. I can't remember. I don't know why. I can't remember anything right now. But I can't believe that this field just, it's so bad. It's so bad. I was on Alien Addict earlier today. And I was going through the things. I was starting to do it here. We know, everybody knew now without a shadow of a doubt that Billy Meier's definitely. Then you got Travis Walton. Travis Walton definitely did not get abducted. I don't believe it. As a matter of fact, I don't believe Whitley Strieber either. He might have had something happen, but I don't know. He's a writer, right? So it wouldn't be too hard for him to imagine an abduction story he could make up from his dreams. I just don't trust him at all. So I'm going to call him a hoaxer because a lot of people out there are calling him a hoaxer, a liar. I don't believe him. I don't think is having or has had any experiences. And if he has, I don't think he's doing a good enough job to prove it. Making a movie is not proof. Writing a book is not proof. This is weird. There's a delay on StreamYard on my screen, and there's never a delay. This is unbelievable. The StreamYard's weird today. It was weird yesterday too. But David Wilcock, Anjali, Travis Walton, Betty and Barney Hill, Bob Lazar, all of these people, one way or another, have been proven, in my opinion, and with the evidence that's been put out there, that they have lied and continue to lie and sell their fake shit. Now, I listen to other shows and I see comments, what other people say about this show, Truth Seekers, and even AlienScientist now is getting something, that people are like, hey, I didn't think you thought that way about that. It's weird. I thought you knew that I thought you thought that was real or something I saw. It's like, hell no, that ain't real. This was like a couple of weeks ago. I can't remember. But a lot of people in the field still believe these people. And I think, without a shadow of a doubt, that these people have been proven to be hoaxers. Where do we go as a community knowing that the people we look up to or used to, not look up to like, oh, but people that may have a good shot of had seen aliens, alien ships, alien bases, S4, who are now being called and being proven liars? Where do we go in this field? Even Lou Elizondo and all of that Twitter crew that he hangs out with, they're all a bunch of F-ups too. That whole Twitter family, UFO Twitter, although they are nice people, a lot of them are nice guys. I have nothing against really anybody, really, except for Michael Horn. And even him, I know he's just a blowhard. But what's this? I see the super chats, guys. I'll get to them in a second. I just want to get my thought out, which is now gone. All right, it's gone. Hey, Lee guy with the $5 super chat, just throwing it. I love it when they throw it. Beautiful. You get one of those for throwing it. No message, no sticker, nothing. Just take the $5, enjoy building up your neck, because we got a road trip coming up October, November. It's real. It's going to happen. There may be another road trip other than that. Thank you. Patrick Sheehan with the $5 super chat as well. The only classic cases that may be true, Lonnie Zamora and the Zimbabwe school children. Yeah, man. That's what keeps me going. Good one. That is so true. Thank you for the $5 super chats and last night as well. Very cool. That's true. Lonnie Zamora did see something. He really did. And they got good trace evidence out of that one. Look, even though they wore overalls or coveralls, right? They looked like children wearing coveralls, and then they had the little footprints and the 3 impressions from the egg-shaped craft. Love that stuff. Love this world. Thank you, Patrick Sheehan. Mucho gusto generoso, señorso. Yep, here it is. Thank you. And there's one more. There is one more. B. Baker with a $5 super chat. Alien Scientist is in the house and wants to come on. Oh, get out of here. All right. Alien Scientist, I am going to send you the link to your Twitter account because I don't want anybody else joining. No offense to anybody else, but oh, you know what I mean? B. Baker, thank you. While I grab that link for Alien Scientist, this is for you, B. Baker. You get this one as well. Grazie, grazie. There's the invite, copy to clipboard. Sending it to Aliens Scientist. Where the hell are you, dude? What the? Where are you? Oh, there you are. Oh, there you are. Yeah, you know what? About last night? That's what I thought you were thinking. That Cal was handling it. Yeah. That's why I didn't even say, oh, what happened? All right. Here's the link. And it's now in your Twitter. So Alien Scientist is going to join. Hey, Xavi. With a $5 super chat, motivation on both sides in ufology, hoaxers, and debunkers. Just got to find out and analyze the real ones. I know. That's the ticket. That's what we got to do. That's what we're trying to do, man. That's what we're trying to do. Thank you, Xavi. 310, G310. Pardon me. This one, I'll give you something different. Yeah, I'll just give you the, that's a regular one. I don't know what this one is. Those are hundreds. Yeah, see that? We'll just do that then. Thank you. I know I'm not supposed to give that one, but I did because I care. And one more for the road. We got Barry McKeon, a continuing supporter of GoofOn. Shame so many are now being proven to be hoaxes. I know. This is what happens. Eventually, the truth will come out. The truth, most of the time, comes to a head. That is for you. This is the this is the international one. Thank you very much. Barry McKeon, I believe AlienScientist is here. So let's go ahead and get him out of the green room and bring him on the show. Thanks, guys. Mucho gusto, generoso, super chats. And if you have any other super chats and I'm talking, I will not forget. I'll get you later on. Let's get him here in 5, 4. Let me stop that. 3, 2, and he's on. Hey, what's up, man?
Check. Hey, man.
Good.
How's it going? I'm dressed as my aviator outfit, my Halloween costume that I went and got the other day. But this is the Sonora Aero Club. If you're familiar with Charles Delachaux and the history of like the sightings that happened in Texas and California back in the late 1800s, with this, apparently there was this Zeppelin club that built a lot of flying machines and stuff. And I just put it on because, hey, man, we got David Wilcock in that giant ass hangar, but he doesn't have any craft in it and no tools, no machines. And I wanted to get on and talk about that. A couple other things too. You had mentioned Lazar's sport model in that video you were playing earlier, and I'd shouted out in the chat about this that sport model actually, Billy Meier actually had that same kind of shaped craft earlier in the 70s. But it actually comes earlier than that. You can trace it back to I think like 1960, 1961, the Otis Carr OTC X1. Are you familiar with that?
It does sound familiar.
Yeah, so this is a craft that was patented and actually this guy raised money in the UFO community back in 1960, 61 and built this craft called the Otis Carr OTC X1. And his partner Ralph Ring, I believe, claimed to have been a protege of Nikola Tesla and had developed the flying saucer technology from Nikola Tesla and all that, if you're familiar with the legend. So this stuff is not, it goes way back, and people aren't familiar with all the science and the history of that stuff and what's been done. But these ideas have gone back, but we're still here. We don't really currently have any proof of an anti-gravity device yet, or these platforms, or some of the stuff. There is the Biefeld-Brown effect, which was discovered in the early 20s, in late 20s, 1928 I believe, and they experimented with it with a lot of aerospace companies and research companies throughout the 50s and 60s, including John Lear's dad was involved in some of the research that went on at Bonson Labs and stuff. There's a whole history of anti-gravity research, but there's many misconceptions I've found within ufology. And I got into this because of Bob Lazar and his claims, and I went to school and got a degree in physics, and I ended at my bachelor's degree, but I spent the last 15 years or 17 years or so really digging deep on anti-gravity technology and the whole history of it, and trying to expose that and bring it out.
Wait, you went to school because of Bob Lazar for this?
Well, it was more Richard Feynman, because Bob Lazar's, he doesn't really have like he claimed to be a physicist, but it was more Richard Feynman who inspired me as a physicist, and then it definitely seen Bob Lazar in the 80s and 90s. I mean, in the 90s anyway, growing up. I grew up as a kid, and then 1982 I was born, so I grew up during all this stuff. I used to see Bob Lazar and Unsolved Mysteries, so it's definitely influenced our entire generation.
Oh,
Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
all that stuff did. It's kind of where we are now. There's so many people that are getting into physics now because of, well, I don't know. It differs. People get into it for different reasons. A lot of their family or friend or physicists are into this. But I think that what I hope is that we're inspiring more people to get into UAP physics research and realize that, it goes way deeper than Bob Lazar. There's tons of physicists who've worked on anti-gravity and different technologies, all kinds of crazy stuff. And I think you're right on with Lou Elizondo. He straight up lies when he says that we can't explain these UAP sightings in terms of technology. I think that he doesn't even talk about any of the technologies. So how can he claim that? It's kind of absurd. And I think that there's this divide that's happening between this popular ufology and the science community, because they're trying to almost ridicule it on the scientific end, or say that the evidence that we've been shown so far is so. We have Mick West out there debunking, doing these debunkings on the Nimitz tapes and all this other stuff, and saying, well, we're skeptical, and the scientific community doesn't believe this stuff. And then on the other hand, you have we finally got published in futurism.com, and the Debrief did an article on the APEC conference that we hold, which is the Alternative Propulsion Engineering Conference that at altpropulsion.com. And Tim Ventura runs this, and I also mirror it through my channel as well to help promote it. But it's basically a club of DARPA people. We have NASA scientists on board. I think we have like 10 people from NASA that have come on and shared. We have people from Boeing. We have like some of the top scientists who've worked in this field coming. I basically researched these people and researched this stuff for the last 15 years. And I've created this kind of club through my associations to bring all these people together. And we're trying to basically say, we got to take ufology to the next level, because there's so many of these cases from history that are being exposed as frauds or being uncovered now years later. And we don't want to turn people away from the field. We want to show them that, look, there's real science here. There's, despite all there's a reason that those popular cases are all fake and are all frauds, because the media and this machine that exists can't promote the real stuff. They're not, you know what I mean? They're popular cases for a reason, because they're fake, because they're safe to promote for the media. The real cases are not safe to talk about on Fox News or MSNBC or CNN, and if you think for a second that mainstream media is going to cover like real information on UAP, then you're deluded, and you need to do more research into Operation Mockingbird, the whole history of the CIA, and all this stuff. So yeah, of course. And also you got to know that CIA employed John Lear, who was the majority of that Bob Lazar case arguably came from John Lear. He was on George Knapp a year before Bob Lazar, saying most of the same story, except it was 11 or 15 flying saucers versus Bob Lazar, who said it was 9. So little details were changed, but the story is essentially the same. That story came from John Lear, and even in the history of it, when they asked Gene Huff about it, he said that they traded a house appraisal. They appraised John Lear's house and went with Bob Lazar, took the photographs, and Bob Lazar was the photo processor who used to edit all the photos for Gene Huff to put in the ads in the real estate business back then. And that's how they met John Lear, and they traded John Lear a home appraisal in exchange for the Billy Meier stuff. And so they studied that Billy Meier stuff, and that Billy Meier stuff, again, a lot of that was copycat stuff too, because he was building those models based on, ufology, popular UFO stuff at the time, which was, of course, the Adamski stuff, and also, the Otis Carr stuff, which was, left over from the 60s. Like I mentioned, that goes back to 1960, 61, Otis Carr. So, and people can look that up. There's patents on it. They're dated in the U.S. Patent Office. So it's undeniable. And so there's your sport model shape. and there's where it comes from and originates. And there's been a lot of copycat stuff going on, and copycat is good in some ways because we get to try things out that have been tried before, but we're doing a whole bunch of different level science stuff of trying new things that are lesser known or haven't been tried before, or we know have been tried by companies and stuff. So we got this whole thing with David Wilcock. What do you think about his hangar? And so he bought a hangar apparently, and he's down to his last $3,000. I mean, how much does a hangar cost? I mean, most homes around here sell for $1 million. I can't imagine a hangar that size, reinforced concrete and all that.
Yeah.
It's got to be well over $2 million, right?
Oh man, I would think I was thinking maybe half of that. About
$1 million, right? $1 million.
It looks like it's in pretty decent shape. It looks like might be a little old, but who know? Do you know where it is exactly or close to?
I have no idea. I know he hangs out in Colorado and in that area a lot, so I'd be curious if it's somewhere around there. But
He doesn't have any paperwork. He didn't show anybody the sales receipt for that, did he?
There's got to be some. You can look up real estate transaction records. All that stuff has to be public. So you just got to look up, transactions to find all the hangars that have been sold and bought in the last year or two.
Okay.
Because that would probably do it. He's been in talks. He said he's been in talks about this aerospace company for 3 years now. I would imagine this hangar would have been a recently acquired thing. If they really did acquire it, who knows? He could have just been He even admits himself, it would have been trespassing if I had posed in a hangar and did that. Well, not really. It's not really trespassing. I can, if they let me on the premises and they agree to let me film, I can pretty much film in whatever I want, whether it's me saying that I own the hangar or not. If he did, it's like, that's not a crime. I'm sorry, but I don't know. There's a lot of things to be skeptical of because as Steve Cambion did the show the other night, the guy's been notorious for scam after scam after scam after scam, which is no wonder why he's, sees the potential in what we're doing and the growing, the growing community desire for, technologies and science that can explain this stuff. And also the real disclosure process of bringing that science out of obscurity and into the mainstream.
But he still needs to get funding, doesn't he? Somebody, where did he get the money to buy it, number one? And why isn't he using the same person who has this money that purchased it if they did for him?
Yeah.
Something's
So
off.
There's a lot definitely off. So he's apparently selling the courses for $333.
Oh,
You can get the course or whatever.
Oh my God.
And he won't say the name of the guy who's teaching it. It's this guy, Ben, apparently. So a lot of these guys think it's what's the name of the guy that they thought it was? It's not Ben, but Blanky. What the heck is that guy's name? It's not Ben, but it's Don or Dan,
I can't think of it. You got me now. It's on the tip.
Yeah, it's on the tip of my tongue. They were talking about the other night. I'll come back to it.
Somebody will tell us. Yeah.
Yeah, someone will definitely know in the comments. But yeah, there's some speculation about who they think his source is, the guy who's teaching the course and also the guy who's giving him his scientific direction, and is apparently telling him that we'll have a working prototype within a year and commercial product available within 4 years.
Bullshit.
That's insane. I mean,
If
he thinks that, I don't know. I would be really impressed if maybe he's got insiders. He's kind of like he's Ancient Aliens. He's well out there. Maybe he's someone. Let's hope and pray that maybe he's got an insider that's someone. But
then he wouldn't be out begging for money if he had that shit, right?
I don't know. It's right. Why is he doing this? And then he's saying that he's going to spearhead disclosure and be the Wright brothers of anti-gravity, bro. This is my message. This is my video. This is my pitch verbatim from 4 years ago, dude. I don't know, how does he not know? And then I don't know. Anyways, We actually reached out because we were so curious. We're going to we became VIP members at David Wilcock's the Disclosure. It's called the Disclosure, I think .com or something like that. So we signed up and so we can get VIP access to David now. So so this is how we're going to, like, basically, put him on, force him to go on the spot, because he otherwise he can just hide behind his, whatever. So we're gonna.
What does it take to be a VIP?
You have to pay like $333.
Oh, that's it.
That's
That's the $333. Yeah. Oh man. All right.
Yeah, we said, what?
That's okay.
We'll do it for the exposure. $333 is worth it. If we can reach, his audience, an audience of his size, the Ancient Aliens size, like that would be worth it. It'd be worth it just to, and it would pay $33 just to show him up. And ask him about like, hey, who's your scientists? What is your science? What are you going to be spending the money on? Like, how? Because he's been very vague about money raising that he's done in the past and what he spent that money on, and where the money went and stuff. And so we've been on a very limited budget, and we like build everything like from donated parts and Home Depot. Every once in a while we'll have to buy something that we have to buy or something. We bought a CNC machine that was like $20,000 probably, and other necessary equipment for just the manufacturing and the rapid prototyping, the real R&D process. But he's got an empty hangar, man, and it just begs the question. It's like, well, where's your machine shop? Where are your technicians? Where are your engineers? You're going to need more than, you're going to need a lot more.
It's not big enough.
And also it's like, you can easily piss through $1 million. Like if you don't know what you're doing and you're spending on the wrong thing. I mean, look at NASA, look at the Sal Pays patents. Even he was given, $500,000 to build some of, his research stuff. And he did pretty good. Pays did better, but some of these other guys like NASA is just notorious for just wasting money, and of course they didn't even get the results and didn't even replicate the Podkletnov experiment properly at NASA. So and we've talked to and interviewed the scientists involved in that. So yeah, it's an interesting field that's going on, and it's interesting that guys like David and more people in ufology are entering that field and interested in thinking that they're going to be the next Wright brothers of anti-gravity. But I tell you what, it takes a lot. It's going to take a lot to be to really get this to work right. All right, I know that. I'm not like boasting that I'm going to have a working prototype within a year, or this could be a long haul process. I could be 80 years old before, basically what I'm hoping is that we're training the next generation. I'm taking the 12 and 14-year-olds and getting them interested in physics so that they can, study hardcore maths for their lives to prepare for the science that we're going to need to build this stuff in the future, man. But I just, I don't know. I think we got a long way to go, especially with the materials end of this. And
so you're confident that Wilcock will not have a prototype in a year and in 4 years selling that's a huge accomplishment if he does that. So you don't.
It would. If I think that right now I haven't seen anything in ways of a team or technical engineering skill and building skill from displayed to me. Right, we have assembled a team of real hardworking people. I think even if we had a $10 million facility and $100 million in funding, I think it would take us probably 5 years to get somewhere.
What takes so long?
It would take us a long time. I don't know. I don't think it would be quite that much money. Maybe, I think we're doing things at our own pace, and I don't know if having, what I don't know. There's a lot that's going on. So one thing I believe is that the materials end of this is the key. We don't yet have the materials manufacturing process and the metallurgy to produce the right types of materials that we need. And in order to produce these hyperbolic metamaterials that operate at the wavelengths and the spectrums that we need, and the types of layered nanomaterials that I think are going to be required to build these next generation spaceships. We're not there yet, but we understand a lot of the science of it, and a lot of the scientists are working on this, and the pieces are all there, but we don't have yet the technical ability to put it all together. But that's coming with 3D printing and laser manipulation and stuff like that. So
there's a guy named Alex. I can't remember his last name, but he's on the, I guess, on third phase of Moon team. I don't know if you've ever seen the guy. He's from the Smithsonian Institute, but he's a physicist. He said there's no such thing as gravity. And anti-gravity is a horrible term. Is that true?
Yeah, anti-gravity is really a bad term. It's basically like, it's distinguishing between, Biefeld-Brown effect, which is propulsion through ion wind, right? And actual an electromagnetic manipulation of the gravitational force itself, so that you can affect what we understand as gravity. And so there's lots of methods for propulsion, like pulse plasma, these laser induced, the directed energy weapons technology that can blast air current, make channels in front of the craft and stuff.
Yeah.
There's lots of different technologies that are not, actually warping gravity. They're actually, but they still can effectively propel the craft. But gravity's still a great mystery. So there's a whole, disconnect in physics there with quantum gravity and unification. And this is something Einstein worked, the last decade of his life towards, and never quite got there. And Einstein worked with a bunch of guys like DeWitt, Bryce DeWitt, and John Wheeler, who were very, deep into classified programs. Wheeler once famously left a suitcase full of H-bomb secrets on a train, and they just lost it. All the papers were gone. And then they had and then DeWitt seen in Bonson Labs video working with Biefeld-Brown on Biefeld-Brown, like some of the, he went there from North Carolina. He was from University of Chapel Hill, North Carolina, and Bonson Labs was in North Carolina where they performed those experiments. So, and he stopped by there in one of the videos to go check that out. So he was definitely involved with some stuff. He has papers on superconductors and gravitational drag that go back to '66. So they were researching, superconductors and this gravitational drag effect way back then. And this is something that, has been likened to that Nazi Bell experiment and the rotating mercury plasma, and that can affect the gravity field through what's called the torsion tensor. There's all these different approaches that scientists took based on, solid, real physics, not anything super woo or crazy, like the Victor. Some of it was a little more, the Victor Schauberger stuff and that, but there is a lot of science here and history here that's we've pieced together and tried to bring out. And it's just seeing someone like Wilcock come in and say that, he's got insiders and he's going to build this stuff. It just shows that he doesn't really understand what's going on with the physics and what needs to be done in the field to get there. It just seems like he's going to be another distraction on the playing field that's going to get more people to give money to him that he can, not know properly how to properly spend that. That's kind of what I worry about when I see him joining this, because it's like there's a limited pool of funds available for the research into this, and we want to be putting it towards credible, responsible people, and not people that are notorious, have a notorious lifelong history of peddling hoaxes and other sorts of grifting.
So if it isn't if you don't call it gravity, then what are you guys calling it? Are you still calling it gravity, or are you calling it electromagnetic pressure? I mean, what are you guys calling it?
So gravitation is it's mass, the presence of mass that's warping space-time. And mass warps space-time according to the laws of general relativity. And so we have to work with the laws of general relativity and the existing laws of physics, not try to throw out the laws of physics or invent new laws of physics, but just try to understand them as best as we can. And I think Jack Sarfati is one of the guys that came out and showed that stress energy tensor can be manipulated locally by the use of metamaterials, which affect what's called the near field. And not talking about far field effects, which is like the light that actually touches your eye, but light that's just exists on the surface of objects and is kind of recycled within the objects. And so there's this sort of near field presence, which it kind of gives what we understand as space-time. So there's this whole idea of what is space-time and how is space-time measured. And space-time is essentially measured by the amount of wavelengths that you can count that are between things. So it could essentially be like the waves that are bouncing in this quantum fluid. And this fluid has infinite density. That's called the vacuum. And it has a permeability and permittivity, which are these two constants which correspond to the electric and the magnetic field. And in different materials, like metamaterials, for example, you can have negative permittivity and negative permeability. And with these negative index refraction materials, the laws of physics or some weird things happen. And essentially, if we can create a craft that uses, metamaterials for the surface of it, we could create an optical illusion, which would sort of trick space-time into thinking that there's less space somewhere than there is. So it's a way to actually warp the space-time continuum around the craft optically, using either light shined and lots of light shined onto a certain area to collapse that the fields in those areas, or through this idea of squeezed light, using Heisenberg uncertainty principle to make all the light in the surface of the craft interacting on the same wavelength, and then squeeze it on one side so that basically squeezing it compresses that position vector. So you have Heisenberg uncertainty principle. It's delta. It's your position, or you delta x times delta p, which is your momentum. And so if you squeeze the position, then the momentum goes through the roof, according to that Heisenberg uncertainty principle. So you basically, it's just like, it's really interesting ways that you can get macroscopic objects to exhibit quantum mechanical behaviors.
Is that because they go at a constant speed? Is it the speed of light? Is that what's happening?
So
when you condense it, I know you're shortening the distance, making it go faster, right?
Yeah, this whole idea of this what's called the laser ranging experiment. You can look this up. NASA scientists developed this as a way to measure the actual distance to the moon by using counting the wavelengths of light that it took. So the idea is that this metric is a way that measurement is done is through light, and that if you can trick the light into distorting the measurement, then you can basically bend the space-time continuum. It's through tricks of bending light and squeezing light. So
and that would be a consistent. Be consistent. You can constantly trick the light.
Yes, well, this could be done actively, so that you could basically charge one side of the craft to compress the material, which would then squeeze the light on one side. There's different schemes that we've discussed for how to actually build it and do it, but the materials exist, but they're very expensive, and we don't really have the means to manufacture a lot of the stuff yet. So we're just basically we're going back and trying a lot of the older experiments just for because there's 70 years of anti-gravity history and experiments. So we're trying to replicate a lot of the older stuff, mainly to disprove like that hypothesis, like Stephen Greer keeps saying, we figured out anti-gravity in 1954, and that this NASA and the government have been covering it up since the 50s. That's just what Stephen Greer says. So if we can go back to the 50s and find every single declassified anti-gravity study, and stuff doesn't stay classified going back that far, all that stuff's now out in the open. So if we can go back there and retry all those experiments and say that that's bullshit, then we'll have done something valuable for ufology, regardless if nothing worked, even if we have all failures across the board, that's still valuable knowledge, because now we can show people in the future, this is the path that we're looking at now, and these are paths that you probably don't want to waste your money or time taking, so that's valuable knowledge, right? Especially to guys like Wilcock who are coming into this 10, 15 years behind people like us that are picking up the pieces and saying, oh, we have insiders that know this and that. Yeah, all right, sure, we do too. We have guys from DARPA and NASA at our conferences, and I talk to them in email all the time. So,
in your opinion, are the Tic Tacs real?
I think that the Tic Tacs are either two things, right? Because they're all seen in these electronic warfare ranges, SoCal range, off the coast of San Clemente Island and Pendleton Air Naval Station out there in California, and also off the coast of Virginia, Norfolk, Virginia, where the other crafts were seen similar to this. So they could either be what are a really high-tech spoofing or holographic projection technology, or what's called electronic warfare or electronic countermeasures, ECCMs for short, military lingo. That would be one option. That's one theory that is being passed around here, that they don't talk about that technology, the spoofing technology, and the ability to generate these shapes or orbs, or of course a Tic Tac would be real easy. It's the easiest thing next to a sphere to make it, but the other option is that these are a type of craft, like Jack Sarfati says, that they're actually physical craft, something developed by Lockheed Martin or something similar, Skunk Works, or something that operates with these principles of the squeezed light and the optically generated, optical metamaterials and optically distorted space-time, that kind of stuff. And in that case, I think they'd probably be experimental. I don't think they'd actually be manned. I don't think Mike Turber flew in one, or some of these other guys flew in these things. I think that they're probably they're UAVs, unmanned aerial vehicles, where they're controlled by computers or remotely from a ground station or from somewhere else, So I don't think.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
But then again, where's the patent? Where's the information for those? We have the patents from Sal Pays and some of these, John St. Clair, or some of these other guys that have patents out there for some of these things. But where are they building these things? And it would have to be, where are they keeping them? Because it would have to be somewhere out in Pendleton, Camp Pendleton. Right, there's a huge area out there. There's one of the biggest munitions fields out there where they keep, a lot of the atomic weapons arsenal, and also munitions, just all the tank rounds and guns and stuff. There's a whole road there called the Ammunition Road where they keep all that stuff. So there's lots of area out there to hide stuff, and lots of facilities potentially underground. Yeah, there's lots of mountains out there. There's lots of stuff that's been dug. There's lots of military stuff going on out there. So again, that it would be one bet, but where are the objects? Who's building them? Are we really that far ahead? Are they Russians? Are they, because according to the Navy's saying that, we don't know what they are. And then our government, the Pentagon's confirming that and saying, hey, these things are unidentified. So that's according to them, that source says that it's not ours. That means it's either
it's ours,
Russian, Chinese, Iranian, or yeah, well, it could still be ours, obviously.
Yeah, I know. But it could be theirs, right? Why do we dismiss Russia and China? I don't get it.
Yeah, it could certainly be them if they're testing these things out. They could even be like some really advanced hypersonic drones potentially, but then again, these guys say, "Oh, there's no way it could be that." And then again, you got to think. You talk to all these pilots and stuff. Maybe they're part of a psyop. Maybe they're, who knows? It's just maybe they're all liars. Maybe they're just really good at spoofing this stuff. Like T.D. Barnes said, I asked him, I was like, what do you say to all these pilots who think that, they definitely saw a real craft? He said, well, whatever you saw, that you don't know how good their spoofing stuff is, and that you really just saw some spoofing,
But something that would take off, like David Fravor said, it just, took off in a flash. What would that be made of? Or is it being protected by putting a field in front of it and protecting it from the G-forces?
Well, yeah, if you research a lot of the theory that they were working on at Lockheed Martin back in the late 90s and early 2000s by this guy from Caltech named Bernard Haisch, H-A-I-S-C-H, Haisch. He did a lot of the theoretical work on inertia and this whole idea of the 0-point field kind of creating inertia, and this whole idea of there's this radiation pressure that things feel, and that's sort of what you feel as inertia. It's due to this radiation pressure, and that if you trick that radiation, then you can get rid of that radiation pressure, what's called UNRUH radiation, or UNRUH, UNRUH. And that UNRUH radiation, if you kind of trick the radiation field into that, you can eliminate that inertial reaction force around objects, and so there was some research done into that for inertial cancellation, because of course, then you could have a pilot in there and you could have the thing accelerate at whatever G-force you wanted, because theoretically he'd be in a bubble and protected from those G-forces, because those radiation interactions would not occur, because they'd occur outside of the bubble. You know what I mean? It's
yeah, for sure.
There was research that went on into this, and there's theoretical papers on it that are declassified and online and in our database, and have been discussed.
Didn't Bob Lazar mention that?
There's a lot of people that mention it pre-Bob Lazar too.
Yeah,
so
it's been around forever. I've heard that since the day I came into ufology. Yeah.
Star Trek is kind of
Star Trek
inspired a lot of that stuff. In fact, Star Trek, but Bob was 89, so it kind of predated. These ideas were being thrown around, but it wasn't until 94 that Alcubierre published that, his first paper on which showed solutions to Einstein's equations for a warp drive to work. And that was the start of it.
So does mercury play any role in these Tic Tacs at all?
Well, that was one theory, according to Ed Fouché and some of these other guys that had talked about the mercury drives. But there's if it is mercury, there's a special thing that they do to the mercury. It could be a certain isotope of the mercury, because according to like the legends, it's been called this red mercury stuff, which you can't really find much on red mercury. It looks to be like this hoax that like they took all the, like the Russians were selling red mercury on the black market as like this hoax. I don't know. It was like this. So there's like this whole thing with red mercury. But is it real? Who knows? And I doubt it, because there's not much that I found in the way of scientific literature. Of course, we've been using mercury plasmas in vapor metal halide lamps for a century, or more. So there's been lots of research that's been done in industry into what mercury does under different pressures and different voltages and stuff. So we know that it emits a nice bright white light, which is why they use it for high intensity discharge lamps.
Well, speaking of red mercury, I think that came from the reboot of Star Trek, where they had the red matter, and they used one drop of it to implode a planet upon itself, create a black hole.
The red matter, yeah, something, yeah, the red mercury. No, so according to Ed Fouché, it was mercury doped with barium, cesium, and lead. But I why? Where's the physics papers? Where's
So what would it take for Wilcock to actually successfully do this? Can you give me just a rough estimate of how many people you think would need to create this vehicle?
And that's another thing. I think there's so much weird information out there, like the mercury stuff. There's all these red herrings for people to chase. So this, unless you have a real hardcore scientific basis and understanding of what you want to do, then it's going to be very difficult for you to get anywhere. And I think that Wilcock is going to face a lot of the same problems that Stephen Greer faced with his Orion project, which he admittedly, Stephen Greer raised $1 million for his Orion project, and admittedly got nowhere. So
Stephen Greer's on his last leg, probably. He's been doing this a long time. I don't know, man. He gets a bad rap, but is he really as bad as a lot of people say? I mean, I know the CE5 is, whatever, but everything
whoever
else?
he talked to some guy who was a CIA director who told him something and then says he didn't tell him it. And that's, I think that maybe the CIA met with him privately and told him a bunch of crap or something, or something. Because I don't understand there's a couple. He's not bad. I love the Disclosure Project, what his whole idea was.
Right.
Unfortunately, there's a lot of people in Disclosure Project, which I'm just like, there's very little in the way of evidence. It's just it's just a story or testimony. So who knows? I think that the government probably, when they found out that there was all these whistleblowers coming forward with something like Disclosure Project, I would feel that they would have hired a lot of disinformation agents and the people that jump in and throw red herrings and other crap for people to chase. Like, I believe, like Clifford Stone with his, 200 cataloged species of alien. I don't believe that. I think that there's a lot of stuff that was, thrown into that. But I don't think Stephen Greer was necessarily a nefarious actor in any of that. I think he had all good intentions, but realistically, a simple country doctor was in a little bit over his head trying to take on the intelligence community and the Leviathan that is this probably one of the greatest secrets that's ever been kept, if it's real, well, the real stuff is, like they don't want, they were really afraid of people, even thinking about extraterrestrials or aliens and stuff. So anyways, David Wilcock's having a chance of coming into this field and succeeding is incredibly unlikely. But hey, there's might be a small chance that, someone saw him on Ancient Aliens and said, you know what, this is the guy I'm going to leak disclosure to,
Yeah, and I think that may be the right choice because he's got such a shady history. You might need that shadiness to protect something if something doesn't go the way they plan.
I don't know, man.
I know, right?
It just doesn't make any sense. It doesn't. So even my most hopeful devil's advocate scenario is like, you just shot it through full of holes, Rich. Oh my God.
This is the field we're in. I mean, it's constantly morphing and changing, but the results seem to be the same. We don't get anywhere. There's a lot
Right.
of information, even new information turns out to be a dead end. And it's bad. It's just 17 years I'm in the field. We're not any closer, really. There's a lot of new stuff, and a lot of stuff happened in the last couple of years with Elizondo, but he just repeated the same shit over and over for 2 years. Nothing new came out of him. Does he have any body of work? Have you ever seen any paperwork with his name on it?
Who's that?
Elizondo.
Elizondo. I have not. Well, we're gonna see that book. He's coming out with a book soon, so we'll check that out. Greer. I'll name the top 3 claims that Greer's made that don't hold water, and that's the claim that we figured out anti-gravity in 1954, and that they've covered it up ever since. I have not found sufficient evidence for that at all. Number 2 is his claim that that extraterrestrials are like in contact with members of the government and stuff, and working behind the scenes and all this stuff. That I don't I think that someone told him this. There's people that he's met or talked to and told him things that he wants to believe, has talked about for so long that he promotes them as the truth or something. And then the third one was there's another big thing that he claims that the former CIA director got assassinated because after talking to him or something like that, right? There's something he claimed that the one CIA director that went missing on his canoe, it was
I'm thinking.
He said it was related to something with UFOs and aliens and the debriefs, but it's like there's so many other things like surrounding that could have been just natural too, like he could have just died while on the canoe. But again, there's lots of other reasons he could have been killed too. So I don't know. There's just no evidence. He makes a lot of these claims with like,
yes.
And then there was many of them. I had a list of them when I watched American Cosmic. Have you seen his most recent?
Cosmic Hoax?
Yeah, the Cosmic Hoax, where he talks, his whole idea is that the ex-Nazi von Braun, told Carol Rawson that, all this prophecy about the faked alien invasion, that's what's coming. And that's not what he's, promoting. Is this idea that's the final false flag.
It's coming, man. That's why.
That's the final one. That's what they're prepping us for. This is all part of the plan. Elizondo is the ringleader. He's
It's weird because you have Elizondo, who doesn't bring us any evidence. He just does a lot of talking. And then you have Jeremy Corbell, who shouldn't even be in the field. He should just be making bad documentaries. And he's bringing supposed videos of alien craft or whatever. It just doesn't make sense. It's a strange thing that's happening over, this last year or so. It's just not, if it doesn't make sense, then there's something wrong. And this doesn't make sense, what we're seeing. But I didn't know you were going to come on tonight, but we're out of time.
Yeah, man, that's all I really wanted to say is that that hangar thing, because you wanted to talk about Wilcock, and I didn't make it on the other night, and then I want to throw in the thing about the Otis Carr. I thought that Cal did a great job, and then Michael Horn actually emailed me, and he wants to come on my show now, and he made some excuse for why he didn't want to come on with Cal Korff, because Cal Korff's some know-nothing skeptic who or something like that.
It's the opposite.
It didn't seem like he seemed like he knew quite a bit more than I even knew about. I don't really know much because I haven't really dug deep into that case.
Me too.
But yeah, Cal just took it away, and so I just let him take the floor, and I didn't really have much to add other than that. That sport model that Bob Lazar copied came from the 1960s with the Otis Carr OTC X1. But that's it, man. Research your history, and don't get fooled by these scammers.
Exactly. Well, thanks for coming on, man. I appreciate this. That was a nice little treat. Appreciate it.
Definitely. Thanks for having me, man.
AlienScientist, everybody. See you later. Thanks, Jeremy. Take care. That was unbelievable. Yeah. That was unbelievable. Yeah, I like surprises like that. Good conversation, too. Even though I wouldn't be able to word a lot of the things he was talking about. I understand it. Yeah, maybe because it's the way he's explained it, maybe because it's all the research over the years. But yeah, it's. I wish I could have that knowledge, and use it. Like if I could have that knowledge for like just a year, I can't keep it, but give it to me for a year. I'll max it out the best I can. But I know a year isn't enough. But man, he knows a lot. Smart guy. Alien Scientist. You guys got to go check it out. If you haven't, go subscribe on YouTube and also on Twitter, and I'm sure Facebook too. But yeah, we're out of time, man. That just flew by in the best way possible. I appreciate everybody hanging out. I am getting the outro set up here. But look, there's going to be a video later on Third Phase UFO Report. I'm sure Third Phase of Moon will have something as well, but I'm putting together something for Third Phase UFO Report. And I want to thank everybody, moderators, super chatters. Thanks for hanging out and giving me the support and the love, because I need it. You keep the show running smoothly every single night. Look at this. I love StreamYard tonight. But thank you for that. And super chatters, I got you. I saw you. I appreciate everything you did. And I was supposed to pull up the list, and I am... Shoot. It's supposed to be right here. Well, thank you, everybody. That was awful. All right, here it is. Here it is. Super chats, real quick. Robert Morgan, thank you very much for the road trip fund, $5. Xavi G310, $5 super chat. Xavi G310 again, $5. Barry McKeon, shame so many are now being proved to be hoaxers. And everybody else I mentioned earlier in the show, thank you for your support. And newcomers and veterans, thanks for giving the show a few minutes. That's all I asked. If you like the show, come back, subscribe it, give it a thumbs up, share it to somebody. That's what keeps the algorithm fresh and confused, so we can succeed and get as big as possible. We'll be back tomorrow night, Friday night, 9 Eastern, 6 Pacific. I'm Rich Giordano for Goof On. We'll see you later. Yeah, and you know what we are. Truthology for ufology. Something like that. Take care, everybody.
Dare. I know you would. You're scared of your own shadow and terrified of dear Uncle Gustav. Yes, I am. Well, I'm not. I don't care if he does find me gone. The cow will protect me. Frida, I beg you. Think about what you're doing. Everyone says he's a wicked man. What about him? Who wants to be good if being good is singing hymns and praying all day long? He's doing what's best for us, I'm sure. It might be best for you. It's not for me. I'm going, and you might as well stop arguing about it. And I warn you, if you dare tell on me, Frida, you know I wouldn't do that. I'm just telling you, you know what will happen if you do. Stop it, you're hurting